Hello, I just ran into an issue with my EcoBoost truck, Ford F150. It's a 2011. It has about 85,000 kilometers on it, so whatever that is, 50-something thousand miles. And it developed a misfire with a flashing check engine light. And it would do it anytime, usually up a hill. And it only did it there for, I only let it do it for about a day because I know what kind of damage I can do to a catalytic converter. And I ended up fixing the problem myself as it's out of warranty. And I'd like to share with you what I found and what you may be able to do if your EcoBoost has a misfire. Now, it may not be the same problem you're experiencing, but check out this little bit of information here and maybe we can I can help somebody else out with a EcoBoost misfire issue. Okay, so my misfire seemed to start and just begin to misfire, solid check engine light. Eventually it brought itself into limp mode and it got really bad. And I didn't really know what to do about it, so I connected my my scanner and I found it was cylinder 5 misfire in the code. So I swapped coils from cylinder 1 to cylinder 5. And I took it for another test drive and I data logged it, and sure enough, cylinder 5 is still misfiring. And here's what I found. I replaced the spark plugs in that truck with these NGK. All right, this is the part number. These I changed 30,000 kilometers ago, so it was only last year. NGK LTR 6IX. Okay, that's what NGK... 6IX-11. These are the plugs that NGK recommends for the 2011 EcoBoost. Now, Ford has a new plug recommended for the 2011 EcoBoost, and it is called, it's a new plug. It's called SP534. And that's the same one they call for in their brand new trucks. Suspiciously, on NGK's website, I punched in 2013 EcoBoost to see if it would come up with a different NGK style plug, and in fact, it didn't. It said no plug was available, so that's really strange. Also, Ford had tightened their spark plug gap up. So just to let you know, when I put these in, they were all gapped to 0.30, 30,000 kilometers ago. So when I moved the coil over, and I found that the problem was still cylinder 5. I did a relative compression test first because I was like, oh boy, maybe we've got a bad cylinder or something. It's not the coil, right? So sure enough, it passed the relative compression test, no problem. And I ran a fuel injector test and it passed that as well, all built into the scan tool I'm using. And if you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and leave those. But basically, it was plugged into a Ford vehicle communications module running IDS software. So it's the actual Ford technician system. But it really didn't need to go that far because it was as simple as spark plugs, which I really at first refused to believe because these spark plugs only have 30,000 kilometers on them. Well, let me show you something. This might be hard to see, but cylinder 5 spark plug was literally wasted away. I'm going to compare these two here. Cylinder 5. You can see here the difference in the tip. No, hopefully the camera will focus. Yeah, there you go. You see the difference? The tip's like gone on the cylinder 5 spark plug. Now, I don't know if it was a moisture-related issue or if the tip had a problem. I measured all the spark plugs, and the funny thing is, after only 30,000 kilometers, these 5 all came out at like 0.36. This one was like 0.5 something. So the gap was huge. Obviously the little tip's gone. And that was causing a misfire. But all of them had the gap had widened quite a bit from when I put them in just 30,000 kilometers ago. So I guess what I'm getting at here is, guys, if you run an EcoBoost truck, if you develop a misfire, definitely check your spark plugs. It's easy to do. They come out really easily. I gapped them all when I grabbed the package from my local Ford store, and I basically gapped all the spark plugs before I got to the truck. And then when I got to the truck, I think it took me 10 or 15 minutes to change all 6 spark plugs. So it's an easy job. And you're probably going to have to do it pretty often unless something to do with this SP534 spark plug has been redesigned or something. But looking at them, they looked a lot like this NGK Iridium, and these are listed Iridium on the box. The only difference was there was a bit of a difference in shape to the actual strap here. I'm not sure what that would, if that would have anything to do with it, but otherwise the plugs looked almost identical. So guys, if you got a Misfire, I'll tell you, like, I put these SP534s in, and my truck runs better, it's smoother, it seems to pick up miles per gallon. Like I just got on the last tank, I just got like 19 point something miles per gallon. I didn't do anything silly like towing a trailer or anything. And the last tank on these that I got was down to like 13 and a half miles per gallon, but I did tow a trailer. But just to let you know, like, these ones here in general are up now. My mileage is up over my previous mileage. So if you've got issues with a Misfire or running rough, and what it would do is you'd put down the gas, especially going up a hill, it would buck, and it would feel like every once in a while it would skip. And sure enough, it was these plugs, because I've tried and tried and tried to make it do it. And you know, I put these plugs in now a week ago. The problem came up a week ago on the truck. Don't let your truck misfire. You're going to ruin catalytic converters. And I haven't priced them for the EcoBoost, but they cannot be cheap. So just please don't let your truck misfire. If you got a misfire, especially bad enough to throw a check engine light, find out what's going on with that thing. Because the EcoBoost, I've never had a wrench turn to it. And this is the first mechanical engine problem I've had with it in 85,000 kilometers. And I changed my other spark plugs just because I was at 50,000 kilometers, and I thought, hey, why not do a set of spark plugs? And they were all widened. They were all at 0.40 gap. And putting these in made it run smoother. So I'm thinking this might even turn into an annual job here on this particular EcoBoost. Now, I'm going to knock on wood when I say everything's running perfect now, and the truck has more power and better fuel economy and is 10 times smoother than it was with these plugs in it versus those ones. So, guys, if you're having problems with EcoBoost, misfire, check engine light, maybe a couple different cylinders, or hesitation, going up a hill, rough idle, check your spark plugs, check your gap, make sure they're all 0.30. If they're bigger, you're probably better off going to the Ford store. And here in Canada, I don't get a discount at the Ford store. I'm not a shop. These spark plugs cost me $64. So they're like $10 a piece. I think that was after tax, which were 13% sales tax here. So it wasn't a lot of money, and the truck's running like $1 million, and I'm sure I'm going to make up for it in fuel pretty quick, because it seems like, again, I can safely say I've picked up 1 mile per gallon, but probably closer to 3. So check that out and do it before your catalytic converters burn out. Any of you high mileage EcoBoost guys. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.